Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spin Rack, and today I'm doing a video on the third part to my Batman history, and we're doing Batman 0 Year. This was in 3 parts. I don't usually like going over a half hour, so we're going to try to do this in 3 parts. Hopefully the interest will stay as long as I'm doing it. You guys haven't, my out of sync Batman and his 0 Year versus um, year 1 is doing better than my Batman histories, but I'm dedicated to keep going, right? So I bought this trade. I'm not sure where all my original issues are. Did bought this thing on this variant cover, the Batman's new outfit. I think while we're here, I'd like to do where is that thing? Where is it? Sorry, guys. I don't know where it is. Anyway, let's move on. I have an action figure somewhere around here. Can't find it. But anyway, it's variant cover, trade, 0 issues. 0 issues not in this, as I told you guys. But we're gonna go to that one first, right? Because the new 52 needed 0 issues, and they kind of took it to the team saying Batman's getting a new origin, just like everybody else. And they were like, you guys can do it or someone else. I said, all right, no, we'll do it, right? That they were, they didn't want to tread on year 1. But then they started thinking what they were doing. And as I said, this is a origin that utilizes it all. It's got some golden age elements. It has a little bit of silver age and has some year 1 in it, right? So let's go through it. Now this cover has the existing Batman outfit, but in these early issues, Batman, he's not Batman yet. It's just Bruce Wayne. And that's what I was telling you before. This is a story where we get to see more of Bruce Wayne, which we didn't get in year 1. We got to see him come back. We get to see some moments, but he's a key part in the first Batman story, Detective Comics, which what this variant cover is taking off on, right? It's not the same exact issue, but some of those elements are going to creep back into the story. And it's like from 0, issue 21 to like 33, I think it is. I think, 33. I think Greg Capullo said this was the arc that almost killed them, right? And I do have a video where they talk about it. I'm the one who asked the question, and they talked about it, thankfully. So right here we have a bank in Gotham 6 years ago. So it's working with the 7-year rule, right? So 6 years ago, before Batman started, they're making even less. So yeah, I guess it's 7 years, right? So here we go. They're all gonna have this cake at the Gotham National Bank, and we get the Red Hood gang, right? Now the Red Hood gang, we know what this means. Joker is introduced in the first Batman story, right? Why? Because in the Golden Age, when they gave Joker an origin, he was actually the Red Hood. He fell into a vat of acid, and he came out looking like the Joker, and he just started cracking up laughing. Now we have a story where he was a comedian in The Killing Joke, and they've totally disregarded the Killing Joke because the Joker said there's one of many origins. This Joker is the calculating one, the one we see in the five-way revenge story, and Scott Snyder plays that up to the hilt, right? So they're in the bank. they have the bank manager. He's talking back to them. They ask Red Hood number 5 to put him down. That smells even the movie, right? So the gun isn't working. And he says, take mine. He says, thank you kindly, and put it to your own head. And number 5 is like, what? Like now 5 puts a Uzi to his head. Right? So he takes his mask off and he realizes that 5 enjoys killing. He would have killed him without a thought. And 5 is just left-handed, showing that this would obviously be Bruce Wayne in disguise, right? But I guess I spoiled it, right? But anyway, they figured him out. He's saying don't hurt anyone, but at the same time, they were poisoned by the cake. So now he's like, thinks he's a cop. So he says, open your mouth. And Bruce still had the gun, so he used it. He starts beating these guys up, right? Bruce was thinking of what Alfred is saying. He escapes, drops a smoke bomb, and then they're like, freeze. They say they think they have something in his hand. They say it's a gun. They're about to shoot him, but then the Red Hood gang comes out with their gun shooting, and Bruce is able to duck under the fire, and under the car is actually a manhole that he goes in. Now there's going to be a jump in the story, right? So we realize this is Bruce. He has some wacky motorcycle that's here, so clearly it's something like out of Tron. So it's not saying this is a retro Batman the Animated Series thing, but there's going to be some retro Silver Age stuff in here, but it's basically present day. He's running somehow. The Red Hood gang, they get down there, and Bruce has his exit planned perfectly. R.I.P. Joe Kubert, one of the best. Right? And he gets to this complex, right? And I believe this might be still in Gotham. I'm not sure the location, right? I don't know if this is the Batcave or not. But he has all this tech, right? And Alfred's like totally against all this stuff, right? And Alfred wants him to go back to being Bruce. And this whole thing of Bruce Wayne being a mask, kind of Bruce Wayne died when his parents died, right? Pages to jump for some good reason, right? So on this Gotham rooftop, just as I thought, I don't think they're within the city, right? They're not at the mansion. And he's testing out this boomerang, right? And he's going to say what happens when he tosses it for 4 minutes. And while he tosses it for 4 minutes, someone's here to see him, tell him to wait, but Commissioner Gordon has gone up, disregarded that totally, right? And he wants to chat with Bruce, and Commissioner Gordon is not interested, so Bruce has to talk, but he knows this boomerang is coming back, and it's got 3 minutes, right? Alfred leaves. So they're trying to figure out what Bruce is doing, what his whereabouts was, right? And he's like, and at the same time, he has some questions about Man Runner's cousin, Philip Kane, who's actually Bruce's family. That's the person who took him in the Golden Age. The same here, right? And he got some issues with Philip, but he's trying to ask him about it. And there's also a reporter vigilante, right? And this guy somehow has some resources. And of course, Bruce can't help him at all, right? Right, so doesn't want him to help out the vigilante. So he said, hey, you're sort of a crusader, right? And as they go away, the boomerang comes right back before Commissioner Gordon sees it. And then we see the gang. They see Bruce Wayne's place. He said, what do you want to do about it? I want to blow it up. Right? So that's a cool, dramatic. So then they went through, what is it? Court of Owls. They do, what's the other one? They do Death in the Family. And then this happens, right? So it was a nice gap of there's so many exciting storylines by Greg Capullo, Francis Monopool, and Scott Snyder. Right? So still in that 6 years ago frame. So this is still part of that same year, right? So we see Gotham City disheveled. We have Fish in where the train station is. We see someone catch a fish. And it's a little kid, right? And then we see these guys similar to, what's that? To, I think the Dark Knight, but they kind of look like monsters or sort of a Scream type of thing. And then a motorcycle pulls up, got a bangarang around them, hit the other guy in the head, and they run into this guy, and it's actually Batman. He has his fish. Well, we hint that Batman was actually dead. All right, so something really crazy happened. So this is the first part, Secret City, right? So we're doing Secret City. We're 12 minutes in. I do not think we're going to get to the second part. It's 3 parts, right? So right now, we see the Red Hood gang again. And at the same time, we have the vigilante. We see the mask, so we know what the vigilante is. In his head is Alfred. And he has the hostages, but he's caught by the Red Hood gang, right? So he has a plan. He starts driving towards them. He shoots his grappling gun. The Red Hood gang is there. He drives off the cliff. Trinity War. We got Ivan Rice, so it might look gorgeous. Not sure about the story. He catches on this whole, this crane that's up there. Alfred's worried about the weight. We see people saying, this is one of the good parts. He always has the city interacting, but this is a little brighter for the city. You know, we saw it was kind of bright, even that disheveled Gotham. So not going totally dark and gothic. We're going to get there, but we're starting. It's kind of welcome us back to the city, right? So then saves all these people. Truck doesn't hit them. The vigilante looks up. Red Hood claps, and he gives him the old finger, right? He said, what do you love about the city, Bruce? We get this nice panel to kind of set up the day-to-day life of Gotham, right? And they're trying to figure out the Red Hood, but we see Bruce using all this tech, right? And working out. He got these magnetic boots, so it's kind of something else that's cool that he can use, that he's a master of disguise. But he's trying to figure out how to deal with this gang. And he's like, nope. He's not trying to bring Bruce Wayne back to life, right? Because he was declared legally dead, so he could be left alone, right? Superman Unchained. Right, he goes upstairs, And his Uncle Philip, who we just had Commissioner Gordon kind of hint there might be some seedy dealings with him, right? And hints at some of the crazy stuff Bruce might have done, right? He said he didn't kill anyone. They go past Crime Alley, and Uncle Philip wants to talk with them. So they have a ride through there. They go past the new Wayne Enterprise building, seeing all the incredible work they've done, right? And he's not really into the business right now, right? And he's the one who declared him legally dead. So he can live on by himself, right? And then we see the penny. And this all this stuff establishes where Gotham is at. But he's not going crazy trying to go dark. But that's going to be later, right? And then we get this flashback of Bruce and his father. And he has this visualizer. And he gives it, this thing right here, gives it to his son. And we're going to see this develop later. He's going to use it for something else, right? This is at the mansion, right? And we realize that talk was from Philip to someone else with these questions. And we know where the questions lead, right? Not DC's questions, but the Riddler. So we've already established the Riddler is here also. So, and then we see Bruce Wayne as a kid. He goes to the cave. That cave we saw hinted in The Dark Knight, where Bruce falls. So we have a cool setup for that, right? So we got 2 issues in, 17 minutes. I believe we have 2 more issues to do. I don't believe we're doing that issue, but see how far we can get, right? So here's the trade. I'm not doing the backup stories. This is going to take us off the path. And this was the cover. Now I know I had this issue. Let's see if I can do. Sorry, guys. Let's see if I can do this here like this. Let's see, forging the bat, right? So we see him drop that visualizer. We see this scene, I think, from the Riddler. We see this nutty stuff here, right? Part 2 of Zero Year. And they're on this blimp, and the gang is at it again. And at this point, they've captured Aswell Cobblepot, right? So we got him in here too, but he goes to attack, and they realize it's the vigilante again. And we know who that is, right? So they get in a fight. They're about to figure out who he is, and he makes his escape, right? And he hides his face. He has some other tricks, right? So he makes his move. He has those magnetic boots, but they're a little sleeker now. And he's talking to Alfred. Alfred's telling him his mistake. We see Aswell Cobblepot is still here, tied up, but he's got to get him out of there too, right? And we cut to Bruce as a kid, so we're cutting through different aspects, right? And while he's in there, all the bats come, right? So we're working out the infamous grappling thing, which we got from the Batman movie, right? This is a larger one. This is going to allow him, and then they get into an argument, right? He smacks Bruce. He said, come back. He was talking to the Hook. So I think this period where Bruce was very despondent and truculent, this was hinted in, I think, the Generations 3. They have a moment where Bruce is with Jarvis, Pennyworth's, Alfred's father, the old retainer, right? So he gets a call from Philip. He goes to this museum, right? They meet up, and it's a welcome home to Bruce, right? Something he really didn't want. Everyone's happy to see him. We got Vicky Vale there, and Bruce just walks out, right? And he's in there, and he runs into, obviously, Edward Nygma. So they have a talk, and then we got this cool Steranko type puzzle thing here, where they have some sort of verbal sparring that's going on here, which is cool. And right. I realize Bruce has escaped. And when he gets to his house, we saw that setup. They blew up the place, right? And at the same time, the bats are just going after Bruce as a kid, right? So we're not going to go to this, him utilize some other skills. And then we see the glove, right? Oh, wow, this is... And then we see his father finding him. We got these flashbacks. The house is exploding, he's still alive. And then someone who's coming to help is the Red Hood gang. And the Red Hood is saying, you should have never come back. So they're just gonna beat the hell out of him. And they leave them bruised and bloody. We have a picture of him and Julie Madison. And they're about to pull out a gun on him. And just to really destroy Gotham's brightest sun, right? And they shoot gunshots through his picture, and he's left for dead. And he's crawling out. It's just a total mess. The fires, but he has his escape, right? And this is to be similar to the year one, but totally different, where the Joker is the one who pushed him to the edge, right? And he thinks that the Riddler did it, right? Or Edward Nygma, right? So they had their verbal sparring, but the Riddler is a little too smart to let all that happen, right? And he's planning his escape and getting to his bigger plans. So we see Alfred still has the aspect of what was in year one, where he's kind of a surgeon and he keeps Bruce alive. And Bruce is a mess. And seeing that he's been through a whole lot. But at this time, he has his moment of truth, right? He goes through the mansion. He's at the mansion instead of the building where he's at. And he needs his father to show him what to do next. And he has that globe, but it shows him the cave. So this is a cool way to get the bats in. And then when that thing comes on, because he forgot about it, it's actually those bats flying around in the cave, but it's a visual thing. And he says, yes, Father, I will become that bat. Even though Bruce was the one who had the thing, he drops it. We see a bat, but we see a bat here and a bat there. So a bat is actually in the room, even though, yep, see, there's a bat there, right? Then we got a backup story of him fighting, right? Then we see the mask. Oh no, is that this issue? Ooh, how much time? I think I might have to do it. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Yeah, this is the next part. I need to see what time is on that. Ouch. 26. Let's see if we can do this. Right, this is a double-sized one. Wow, they put a lot into this. Right, so they shaved Bruce's head. He's recovering from his injuries. They're in the cave now. You see the Red Hood gang trying to do their things, trying to drop some canisters into the city. And then at the same time as they're doing that, the gang is all tied up on the Gotham sign. Now when we see the Bat still needs a head, takes out this last person from the gang. And we get the classic redo of Detective 27 cover, right? And it's actually he took out most of the gang, right? And this is the titles from the articles. So, right? So, the Red Hood is hatching his new plan, right? You see that? To mess up with the city, right? So at the same time, we got Batman's shadow and them figuring out aspects of the city, doing some detective work. And we got Philip, and they meet up. And realize he's alive. And he's so happy, right? And they have a little talk. And now we see Batman's new costume, which is cool as hell. I loved it. Kind of wish his costume was like that or regularly. And I would love to see if who is it? Todd McFarlane could redo that, right? So we get into that 30-minute mark. So let's see where we're going. Of course, now the police are trying to get a bead on the Batman, so they send Gordon out, and then Bruce Wayne is like, no, he's back, and after what has happened to him, he's brought himself back into Gotham, and he's reintroducing himself to the city, right? And he realized now he's gonna, if the Red Hood gang has attacked him, he's gonna attack back, taking the news people right to the Red Hood's hideout that the cops know, right? And they're gonna their plan to poison the city right now, and Commissioner Gordon is watching this, knowing they're putting Bruce as a target. But you see all the injuries that he has, right? That he recovered from, right? And of course they shoot right at him. At the same time, Bruce Wayne is running around here. And then we have the Red Hood gang right there with them, right? So they captured Bruce, but the police are on them, so they can't just take him out. So they need him as a hostage. He's realized everything, them hooked in with his uncle. That's a great panel here. That's really cool. As they're here, they're about to take him out, and the lights go out. Right? And we see Batman turn on only certain sections of the city. And we see Batman get Mr. Wayne out of danger. And he says, now it's the Bat. And Batman, this is cool, these small panels here. You can see Batman do his thing fighting. It has almost kind of felt McFarlane like, even though McFarlane was very big with his kind of storytelling. Got the person in his head. He's breaking some legs, doing some cool fighting, right? Just handling the gang. There's a lot of people in this gang, right? And then after taking them down, he's going right back up. And one of the gang has finally had it, right? He shoots at the Red Hood, but his hood is bulletproof. And then the place, once he hit that canister, it's ready to blow. And Bruce has this moment where one of the guys actually helped him. And you see Alfred is also helping, like, draw these characters. And oh no, that was actually Philip. Philip actually was one of the gang. Oh damn, right? And then the classic Batman versus the police. He's saying, tell the Bat to stop, right? He shoots Gordon and drops him, but it's only not to the chest. See Batman get away, right? And then the police are going shooting after him, and we see the Red Hood saying so long. He said, better luck next time, but nope, not this time. The joke's on the Joker, right? Or the Red Hood. He ties him up, falls, but Batman's hurt too, right? And he hits him right in the side. This is great storytelling. So side is hurt in the ribs, and he gets hit right there. But he has this protection there to help out, so hopefully it helps, right? And they get into battle. He breaks the Red Hood's thing. The Red Hood has his bulletproof thing, but Batman hits him in it and drops him. But at the same time, these vats of acid blow up. And you realize this Batman is actually the vigilante. It seems like you've evolved. And he's like, Batman's just trying to save him. He says, no, that's no fun. Oh, this is only the beginning. right? And we see the Red Hood fall into the vat, similar to Detective Comics, right? And I think that's a good place to end. There we go. We did our first arc. I went a little too far, but I really like this issue. I bought this issue on eBay. I think I had it, but you know, what can I do? I don't know what happened. Lost in the Flood. That was Dark City. So you see how it went from having the daylight and we got to the dark when they blew up Bruce Wayne's place, but at the same time we had this great thing. So I got you guys to see him in his Batman outfit early on. So there we go. The next part is Dark City, and then we got the final arc, which is, what is it called? We got a hint of it already in the 0 issue and the first issue. What's it called? Well, anyway, let's leave it there. Spinner Rack is out.